Welcome back, kindergarten. Good morning, afternoon, or evening, whenever you're watching this. I want to do my next video, which is going to be one thing that I really enjoyed doing during our math time together. My class should be pretty familiar with kind of the procedures, things we do like that. I'll kind of re-explain it because this is our first one of doing this, but that is number talks. Number talks are a great thing because it's kind of just talking about numbers, playing around with them a little bit, and kind of coming up with not necessarily the same answer, or not coming up with the same answer in the same way. So whatever way you come up with the answer, even if it's different than mine, different than any other way I say, if you got the right answer, that's great. Whatever way works for you. So we're going to do 2 number talks today, and I'm just going to get started. So whenever I do a number talk, I always introduce the problem first. So I'm going to read the problem and give you guys some think time. During this time, I'm going to be thinking as well. And so I'm just going to kind of throw up some pictures, let the video kind of go. Maybe I'll kind of show like one of my calming places, one of my relaxing places, just so I can just kind of think. Maybe I'll add, maybe I'll subtract, maybe I'll just count. But I'm going to try to answer the question that I give. So ready? I'm going to do my first question. Ready? What can you tell me about these fish? All right, let's look. Now I'm going to pause the video, make sure you have plenty of time to work, and when I come back, I'm going to be ready to answer this question. I'm just going to keep it up here. I'm giving you guys plenty of time to look. All right, I'll be back in a moment. Welcome back, kindergarten. So I want to start answering my question. So if you remember, mine was, what can you tell me about these fish? So right away, I want you guys to either try and grab a piece of paper, a whiteboard, whatever you can use to write, and I want you to write something that you notice. I'm going to do that right now. I noticed that there are 5 fish over here, and 2 fish over here. I noticed that there's kind of 5 fish swimming that way, 2 fish swimming that way. So that's the first thing I noticed. Was the first thing you noticed a little different? Maybe it was. Remember, that's okay. Let's see. What's the thing else I noticed? I noticed that I, in all, have 7 fish. You know what? I'm going to write down here, I'm going to write a math problem. I'm going to write 5, because that's kind of what I noticed. I was like, there's 5, well, then I see 2 more, and then 5, counting up 2 more, would equal 7. So I saw that there were 7 fish. Give me a thumbs up if you got one of these 2 things. Did you notice that there was 2 fish going one way, 5 going the other? Or did you notice that we would have 7 fish in all swimming around? Either way is the right answer and a great thing to do. Now there might be some other things you notice. You might have noticed that they all have the same number of stripes on them. You might have noticed that there's 2 small ones, that there's kind of 2 big ones, and 3 medium-sized. Whatever way you noticed is great. There's no wrong answer in this. So I'm just excited we were exploring this together, and I want to do one more number talk. That's why I split mine in half. If you have a piece of paper, you could flip it over, or if you have room, you could also just draw a line like I did. Either way, I'll see you in a moment for our second question. Good morning, afternoon, or evening, kindergarten. Welcome back. So I'm going to go to my second question. I'm usually just going to do one question because this is our first time. I kind of want to do 2 different questions. One involving more counting objects, and one more looking at a number line and comparing numbers. So my question for this is, 6 is more than, and I want you to finish that thought. 6 is more than what? I'm just kind of trying to talk because you know what? I'm not even going to cut away this time. I want to answer this question. So right now, I want you guys either on your paper, on a whiteboard, whatever you have, to come up with an answer. And if you can come up with more than one, come up with more than one. If you can come up with more than 2, come up with more than 2. If you can come up with more than 10, come up with more. Oh, that'd be kind of crazy. You can come up with more than 10. Just thinking, what is more than, or 6 is more than what? So kindergarten, I'm going to start thinking. Now, when I think about this, I think, you know what? I have to start at 6. So I'm going to grab, I could also draw, but I'm just going to grab some of my counters. I'm going to think like, okay, so I start at 6. And I need to think, so what numbers is 6 more than? And 1 more makes 6. Okay, so if I'm looking for the number that 6 is more than, wait, that means I'm actually looking for the numbers that are less. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start taking away and thinking. So I'm going to take away some of my numbers or some of my counters, pardon me, and get some numbers that are less than 6. So let's see, I'm going to take away 1 counter. Kindergarten, what number is that? 5. If you got a 5, give me a thumbs up. Ooh, let's see, let's take away 1 more. If I take away 1 more, how many am I going to have? 4 is also less than 6. So 6 is more than 5. 6 is more than 4. I'm going to keep going. See how I'm using a tool to help me think and take away to come up with the number that is less than 6 to answer my question. I'm going to take another one. Oh, wait, pardon me. What number is that? I got my number 3 right there, so I'm going to keep going. Next number, taking away, I have 2. That is also an answer. I'm going to take away, and I now have 1. 1 is also an answer. Now I'm going to take away 1 more. How many do I have now, kindergarten? I have 0. 0 is still an answer. Having 0 finishes my thought. 6 is more than 0. Now, I know some of my kindergartners really like talking about negative numbers. We're not going to get into that here. But I'm going to write some of my answers real quick. Oh, pardon me. I'm going to set this back down while I write my answers. Because I like thinking about it, and that's kind of how I was thinking. But I have to write my answers. So 6 is more than 5. 6 is more than 4. 6 is more than, I'm going to go over here, 3. 6 is more than 2. 6 is more than 1. 6 is more than 0. If you got one of those answers, show me a thumbs up. If you got 2 of those answers, show me 2 fingers. 3, 4, 5 maybe even. Show me how many answers you get. Either way, you know what? Give yourself a little self high five. That was an awesome first number talk. Thank you guys so much for joining me, and I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Keep working hard and have a great day.